Okay, everyone, we're here with the two heads of the epic dragon that is Immortal Sword FE7x, and we're here to ask them some questions about their game that they've been making for the past, I have no idea how many years. Go ahead and tell me that really quick here so I can stop being such an uninformed nitwit.
All of the years.
All of the years, I see. Okay. So, first question is a pretty big one, I guess, that we should get out of the way first. It is, what is the premise of your game?
Well, in short, it's a good Fire Emblem fan game. One that will hopefully finish.
Especially since there's so many bad Aleeb hacks out there.
Yeah, well, it's easily my favorite universe amongst the whole, fandom, and it hasn't really been done justice.
It really, really hasn't. Okay, so what do you guys want to do with this game?
Show off.
Like, what do you want to add to the Aleeb universe with this?
Just a little more depth, more of what's good about it. It's like a, the term spiritual sequel.
Okay, so
How it's a prequel.
what, like,
You can
what,
tell we
yeah.
answers ahead, can't you?
what was that?
You can tell we didn't plan these answers ahead, can't you?
No, you didn't, but that's okay. That makes it more convincing. So other than just Aleeb being your favorite universe, was there anything specific that made you want to use FE7 and Aleeb as the base for this?
Largely because it's the first one released to an international audience, so most people are familiar with it. And also, it's probably the best written of the ones we've received.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Mike? Or?
No, just a resounding I agree.
Okay, so now we're gonna get you guys to talk about your game here. What are some of your own favorite characters in your game?
Uther.
Why is Uther your favorite character?
He's a badass. It's like his defining trait. He just rocks his way through everything with a really serious look on his face, and everyone respects him.
And what about you, Yeti?
So far, probably Celeste, just because she, it always seems really generic with the really powerful masculine female character, but she seems to do it well, and also she's a unique class that, we can do something really interesting with.
Yeah, it's why I really hope.
And then and then her interactions with all of the other characters in her group, it just works out really nicely.
She does sound pretty interesting. So, why were you guys so interested in making this game? Like, I know you've said you want to expand on Aleeb's universe, and you wanted to give it a bit more depth and such, but why did you start doing this? Is there any other reason, or?
Well, we were pretty much already doing it before we started doing it. It just made sense.
So
yeah, we'd been planning out ideas for class trees and stats and stuff based on GBA Fire Emblem before we even, considered making a game based on it.
So you
and then
just basically
with something to put all of that prior thinking and apply it.
Okay. Well, what makes this super unique over everything else that's been made for Fire Emblem?
We can actually do all kinds of crazy stuff since we're making the engine. We can, have a skill system, unlike the rest of GBA FE.
Yeah.
And then also add little I want to say something, and I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to word it.
Elegance. It all comes together really well, and it's very graceful. I respect everything he codes, and when put together with, the top-notch spriting we have, and well, I don't want to talk up my writing, but I really enjoy it.
It is really good writing. You do give the characters what is the word? You write them well. You give them. Oh, I can't remember.
Listen.
I'm a horrible interviewer.
Well, we're horrible interviewees, so
Balance each other out. What have you done to make people want to play this game? Like, I'm sure that I know it's got a great system and everything. It's got good graphics, but yeah, what are you doing for like publicity, getting it out there, and all that jazz?
So much. It's like, I don't know. Some days I spend more time managing the Facebook page and the website, and just advertising on other places than I do actually working.
Wow.
But it's a lot of it is just driven by the community itself. Once you get a movement going, it picks up speed, and it happens pretty naturally.
Okay. And now you've mentioned stuff like skill sets that they have in Fire Emblem 9 and 10 in GBA FE here. And you've also mentioned, some of the other things you can do with it. What are you planning to put into this in the future? Like what different systems or skills or any other things you're going to put into the system here?
Something we were talking about recently that we're actually that I'm pretty excited about is having kind of a chapter select. So instead of just a linear playthrough, you can actually choose which one you're playing. So you beat the chapter and you go to the next. But if you want to go back and you trained a character you didn't want to, or you want to see how something else works out, or you want to try to do a chapter better, you could go back and play that kind of the Advanced Wars style map screen.
Yeah.
Kind of that kind of thing.
So basically, after every chapter, it'll save your character stats, and you can go back to a chapter, and it'll have them from there?
Exactly.
Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty crazy.
So, you could actually, assuming there were like ranks or chapters or something, or you had some kind of goal you were trying to go for, you could, skip a chapter that's difficult and come back to it later once you're more experienced or more familiar with it.
Wow.
I believe the term is logistical nightmare.
That seriously sounds like a really good feature there. One question that I want to ask myself here. Why Uther, out of all the people you could have chosen to focus this on?
Yeah, it's he's comfortable, he's tied into the existing games enough, but he wasn't really a focus. So there's not much conflict with existing canon, and there's plenty of room to explore around him and the people who associate with him.
And we also knew that he was a pretty cool guy from FE7, but we didn't really know anything about him. Who is this guy, and what has he done? You hear little things in support, like the orphanage in Ostia, but you don't really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you see him is this battle-scarred dude, and he's dying of an illness, and he's raising his little brother as king of fucking Lycia and all this. It's just intriguing.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds like a pretty good bunch of reasons for why you'd want to use Uther. Are we going to be seeing Albert or Hassan or any of these other people from Fire Emblem 7 and their younger selves in this game at all?
Yeah, there's a lot to manage, A lot of people want to see someone specific, so we've got to sort of pick and choose. But we can say yes to Albert. He's been in the roster for ages. And obviously there's, Harkin and there's Adora. There's a pretty large list, which we were worried about it a while ago.
Yeah, I've seen some of the arguments the fans have been having with you about which characters to throw in here.
Yeah, we tried to restrict how many we had just because, if you're going to throw everyone into the game, you might as well play FE7.
Yeah. So,
and we can't really tell new stories for new characters if all we're, if we're doing just reusing characters.
I was about to ask that for the original characters. How hard has it been to implement your own characters into the story without making them seem out of place?
Well, the Fire Emblem, system really helps with that. It's because you can introduce a really large cast without them really being, having an impact on much at all. But at the same time, it's a pretty delicate balance. They can't be completely inconsequential.
Yeah. And characters that you've run from FE6, because I don't know how many people have seen all the sprites so far, but I'm sure most people know that you've got Nime in there. How hard is it to tie characters from 2 games ahead, or from 2 games ahead into there?
It's a lot easier than it sounds because people keep, force feeding us our fuck ups. Yeah, it's there's a lot of research involved, but there's a lot of the like Serenus Forest and the Fire Emblem Wiki make it really easy
because they've got all the support and the data all listed there. Yeah. So, anything else you guys want to tell us about this before we cut off the interview?
Since there's a lot of information in the world in the background, there's a lot to draw from when we're trying to implement characters from both games. So, because of all the supports and all of the information that's available, we can look through all of that and find little connections that we can use to put things in place.
Okay. So I have to ask this because you're going to get comments in the video about this. Do you have any idea when you're going to be able to get some of this out and finished? I'd rather it be me asking this than some annoying fan. But I am that annoying fan, oh god.
Yeah, loose date, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year for part 1. Part 2 is incomprehensible right now.
Yeah. The biggest problem is getting things set up, getting the sprites and such all finished initially, because once we already have a class finished and we have everything set up for that, we can use that in all the forward chapters. That's largely what we've been doing with the trial map, is setting up classes that we would need in the future for part 1. So, we took the first 5 or 6 chapters, all the classes we needed for that, put those in trial map 1. Got the next few, put them in trial map 2. So trial map 3, once we finish that, we'll have every class we need for part 1, and we can pretty much rush through getting the actual chapters done.
Just need to get the mug guys in gear.
Oh yeah, I know all about them. AK still needs to finish that run. It's gonna be a lot of script writing for you, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
He's ahead of the curve. He's on like chapter 6.
Oh wow.
The script isn't actually the part that I have difficulty with. It's the other stuff, the icons, and descriptions for skills and supports, and there's just a lot of niggly little one-sentence text you don't even realize is there, and it's maddening.
The class descriptions for the class reel.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's class descriptions for the class reel, and then you've got your R button info, and then you've got,
all the little aesthetics hanging around.
Yeah, the script itself is, it really helped that we knocked it into a shape a long time ago. Now it's just fleshing it out, adding all the flowery little dialogue bits.
Well, hopefully it doesn't collect dust for too long.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having this little interview here, you two. Hoping we can see some more of this in the future, and I really hope that you guys can finish this because it's a great game and it's been really well accepted by the community, or at least most of it, and it's really entertaining. So thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay. Alright everyone, sorry about that. We're here back with Yeti and Myke because they had remembered something that they wanted to mention in the interview but had completely forgotten at the time. So I'm going to let
tell them that.
Move over there. Anyway, you asked what kind of unique features we added, and I was kind of stumbling over it because I'm terrible. And I remembered that we have the whole upgraded display, the stats and stuff in the battle scene. That it displays your skill chance, that the drop down for the information, what's going on, when you hit, when you miss, when the unit dies. Probably it's going to say if you retreat in the arena. And then the numbers changing, the stats based on skill activations. You activate Astra and it shows that your damage is reduced, or you activate Luna and it tells you exactly how much damage you're going to do. So you can actually plan things based on that instead of just, oh, Luna activated. I have no idea how much damage that's going to do. You can actually see that. And then eventually, whenever we get around to it, the faces at the bottom, they're supposed to, change and react to what's going on in the battle. So, they'll kind of flinch when they get hit, or they'll be, roaring at the opponent when they're attacking, or like a grin or something when they win, whatever. Just, interesting stuff that we, wanted to do that you just can't do making a hack.
Wow.
And then some other things like
it's a lot to take in right now.
balance.
Actually, wow, it's going to be a lot of work to get those faces working. Well,
They are
it's not going to
working.
be a lot of work to get them working, but it's going to be
They
a lot
are
of work to get them.
Yep. So yeah, lazy face sprite guys, yeah.
Yeah.
But and then other small things like the unit window on the map screen showing how much attack, hit, and evade your unit, or whatever it was. Was it evade? I don't know. But showing some of it. And then
showing what weapons the enemies will drop.
Yeah, showing what items they have and what they drop. And then little things like balances. We added cover for armors because, you know, they're really slow, and a lot of the times, especially when you have big maps, even though their stats are generally better, you know, that doesn't mean much. So we gave them a mobility. They can move on to units when they rescue. So that gives them a lot more mobility, and it makes them a lot better tanks because they also have saviors. So they don't even lose speed from rescuing. So, you know, you can put someone on the front line to attack. They can rescue onto that person and be on whatever defensive terrain they were on. Or just, you know, there's a lot of things you can do when you have complete control over the engine.
Yeah, those sound like some really great features there.
And see, this is all the stuff I wanted to say and completely blanked on.
Well, you've said it now, so it'll be there in the video.
All right,
You got
thanks.
AI. You wanted to mention the AI. It's
Oh yeah, and then improving the AI, like you know, you don't get guys running up and attacking your unarmed armors just because they can't hit them back. They actually will plan, you know, think things through, like, oh, I could hurt this unit, you know, do half of their life, and they can't hit me back, and that sounds pretty good. But instead, they'll attack your unit that could, you know, practically kill them because they can kill it, and, you know, losing a unit is a much bigger hit to the player than just losing a bunch of HP. And a lot of things like that. Or they'll stay away, they won't attack units that they can't hurt, instead of just suiciding.
So troubadours won't run up to my swordmasters, and the AI is not going to prioritize NPCs all the time anymore.
Yeah, they'll actually, you know, think things through and, you know, generally go for what's the best plan for them.
That's a really great addition that GBA games will never ever have. Alright, thanks for letting me know that, guys.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention here before you forget?
You know,
Yeah,
I'll
probably.
fit for another hour.
Alright then, thank you.